This is Augusto Perez. Shalom. Welcome to the School of the Holy Spirit. And we're continuing with this series of Revelations Beyond the Veil. And today we're going to be talking about some things connected to the end of times. And I know that sometimes it sounds like a cliche, right? When we talk about the end of times. But we are really in the end of times, folks. We really are in the end of times. And sometimes it's kind of hard to wrap your brain around it. But I've been doing a lot of praying. There has been a very unusual season, more than usual, so, if I may say so for me. I do always try to spend time with God, talking to Him, praying, listening to what He says. But it has been unusual, and a lot of unusual things have been happening with the weather and in the heavens. Strange things have been happening. And all of this, I believe, is associated with the approaching Planet X solar system, Nibiru solar system. And I do believe this is connected to everything that is going to happen as prophesied in the book of Revelation. And this coming year is going to be rocky. It's going to be very, very convulsed. A lot of convulsions in every area. There are going to be convulsions in the financial markets. The Lord has been dealing with me about that. In Spanish and English. He has been telling me in Spanish and English, the markets will collapse. And so I encourage everyone out there to make the decisions accordingly, because this is going to happen. I cannot tell you dates, but it's going to happen, and it's not going to be very far in the future. And also there's going to be convulsions in the political arena. I don't even know if we're going to get to the 2024 election. People are talking about that, but that's a big if. What will happen if we have 2024 election? That's a big if. And there's going to be convulsions in the arena of world affairs, wars and rumors of wars. We are on the brink of World War III. All it takes is just a spark. And there we go. And the provocations are continuous by this country, continually poking the eyes of the other nations. And other nations have just about had it. Other nations have just about had it. The United Arab Emirates has just deserted the dollar to do oil trades. No longer will it be conducting oil trades or any other trades in dollars since they joined the BRICS. You're going to see other nations in Europe and in other parts of the world follow suit. Not in Europe, in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. All of these nations have abandoned the U.S. dollars and joined BRICS. Argentina, Brazil. The U.S. is being abandoned because it's no longer reliable. It's backed by nothing. It's not backed by gold or nothing. And so the creditors, the people that usually bought up this debt, they're bailing out. So where's that going to leave this country? Where's that going to leave the dollar? Well, connect the dots, folks. Connect the dots. It reminds me of what the Lord told me back in 2009. They have planned a super devaluation to destroy the dollar. We're getting there. And then the war, the U.S. is provoking Russia, Iran, is sailing its fleets right there off the coast of Iran, blatantly daring them to attack them. I mean, this is going on right now. They want a war. These people want a war. And they'll get it. They'll get it. And then you got on the other front, on the on the health front, you have them pushing the the new bugs. There's new bugs now making the rounds, and they're preparing the vaccines for the next round of bugs, which many of them have been manipulated, if you will, to make them stronger, make them more deadly by these people. By these people. These people. Okay? They're called themselves the elite, the cabal, the globalists. Now there's some vaccines being prepared for Ebola. Ebola. Yeah, you heard right. Ebola. Looks like this is happening right now. So, although these things are rare, I mean, there have been no Ebola, flares anywhere. These people have a way of making something happen out of nothing. And so keep your eyes on that. This is going to be quite a ride, folks. This is going to be quite a ride. And so, and then on the other hand, we have the natural disasters. You saw what happened in Europe not long ago. What happened in Mexico, in Acapulco, and many, many other parts of the world. Strange weather, bizarre weather, flooding, floods in the Middle East, in dry areas, in places where usually a desert. I saw a video of camels, okay, camels with water up to their necks. Oh dear Lord. Yeah, this is the day that we're living in, folks. And it's going to get crazier. And there's going to be all kinds of things happening. There's going to be comets, asteroids, and wars. And that would be a good title for this program, but I'm not going to. But it could be comets, asteroids, and wars, and pestilences. Now, one of the visions that the children of Garabandal, and we've been talking about the children of Garabandal, and we're going to be talking about other seers have had visions of the future, which is where we are right now. One of the things that they saw was that there was going to be a cross that was going to appear in the sky right before, okay, the warning. And this cross is going to be seen by everyone on planet Earth. And that is the time that everyone will internally sense something spiritual is about to happen, something big. And I have been sensing that in my spirit already, although we haven't seen that cross appearing. She also said that one of the little children said that the small animals and birds will disappear. She also said that during that time, right before the warning, the sun will have explosions. Well, folks, have you looked at the sun lately? Or have you read reports about the sun? The explosions in the sun are nonstop. I was reading a report from Planet X News just yesterday, and the explosions in the sun are nonstop right now. And many of them are big ones. And many of those explosions in the sun, the flares and so forth, when they happen, they reveal this massive celestial object right behind it, very close to it, right behind it, which I believe is the reason why the sun is having so many explosions. And although the little girl at Garabandal did not mention anything about Planet X, that is going to be the reason for the cross that will appear in the heavens, and that is going to be the reason for the explosions in the sun, in the surface of the sun. And so she was told, when this happens, to go directly indoors and stay there. Lock your doors and windows, and if you need to cover your windows, plan to do this when the cross is first visible. In other words, when Planet X is first visible. This cross is Planet X, folks. The cross is Planet X. That is why it's called the planet of the crossing. And then she recommended to use a plastic, and these visionaries recommended kneeling and praying to God during that time for protection. They also said that once this begins to happen, plan on staying indoors for about 8 days, because there's going to be deafening things happening, thunders, and when this deafening thunders, okay, take place, when they begin and then they stop, is a sign that it's okay to go out, and so they say. They also said that there's going to be a mist at sunrise. The morning of the warning, there's going to be a mist, a white mist that will surround the earth. They were told not to go outside when this happens. They were told that if you do so, you will die, because no one will be allowed to see God's power and live. This white mist apparently is the presence of the Lord when he gets close to earth. Also, remember that one of these planets that orbits Nibiru, or that orbits the brown dwarf, right? The the second sun, is supposed to be the home of these Anunnaki. Keep that in mind. I will tie all this together real quick. Okay, just be patient. They also said that the voices of demons will be heard outside your house or apartment. They are going to try to imitate the voice of your loved ones, begging you to let him inside. Do not open the doors. Be assured that no human outside would live through this. During this time, everyone on planet Earth is going to have a mini judgment with the Most High. That experience that you will see yourself as God sees you, not as you see yourself, not as other people see yourself. You will see yourself as God sees you. There's going to be a great deal of speculation during this time, how long this is going to last. One of the little girls, Conchita, she thought that it would be short, while other seers believe that it will last as long as it takes for everyone to recognize that God is in control. This is going to be a very, very unusual time. Thank you, Jesus. So therefore, it is assumed by most that have studied this and that it's going to last approximately 8 days. So it's going to take some time. So you need to have some food and water in hand. Personal meeting that each person will have with God depends on where you are with Him. But it will probably be a few minutes. But these few minutes is going to feel like years, depending on the condition of your soul. However, when this comet, this star, right, asteroid, whatever it is going to cause an earthquake, the devastation will be over in the matter of days. The children, they were told that the children, those that are very ill, the elderly, they will be in deep sleep. They will be in deep sleep. Have no concern, even if they stay asleep for the entire week. Do not try to wake them up. They're going to be fine, and they're awakened on their own. And this reminds me of the experience I had back in Miami many years ago, back in, I believe it was 2003, I believe it was, or 2004, 5, somewhere around there. I was conducting a revival in a church, a Spanish church there in Hialeah, Florida. It was a Friday night. And I remember that night, I remember that there were a lot of children there, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so forth. Children, they were there. And when the presence of God, the glory of God hit the house, all of the children went down simultaneously. They all went down. And they had their eyes closed. And they stayed like that for I don't know, must have been 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And the parents began to be concerned. And the parents, we began to get up from their chairs and began to go over to the children to see if they were okay. And I told them, I said, they are okay. Don't touch them. Leave them alone. They're okay. They are under the power of the Holy Spirit. They're under the power of God. The glory of God is upon them. Leave them alone. And they stayed down for a while longer. And then all of a sudden, the children, as if someone pressed a button in the spiritual realm. And all the children started crying. And they started crying and just desperate cries, like in agony, like fear, like agony. And they were screaming and crying. And their parents were concerned. Again, they tried to go to see the children. I said, leave them alone. They're having an experience with God. Leave them alone. Don't touch them. And so they went back to their seats. And then that continued for a few moments, I don't know, a few minutes. And then, just as mysterious as that was, all of a sudden, all of them started laughing. They all started laughing, like giggling, laughing under the glory of God. Well, the story goes on, but I'm going to stop there because, for the sake of time, because that's not what I want to dwell on. I have already shared that with you in past times. What I'm trying to tell you is that when the glory of God comes on someone, they are like that. They just are immobile and they are like dead. And so do not try to wake up your loved ones or the children, because they're fine and they will awaken on their own. So, however, during this time, some people will not be able to handle it and they're going to kill themselves. They're going to die from natural disasters associated with a warning. They're going to kill themselves due to the financial crash first. They're going to kill themselves due to the because they're going to lose millions, some of them billions, in a matter of minutes. And some are going to die from the natural disasters that are going to be associated with a warning. So those that manage to survive the warning and all the horrific things and catastrophes and earth changes are going to have to contend with the aftermath of the comet strikes or the asteroid strikes. Because the dust cloud is going to be so huge, the sun probably will be blacked out. And the earth is going to become dark as night. And the book of Revelation talks about this. Talk about this happening. The vegetation's going to die, and the burning, the 1/3 of the earth is going to be burned. All of this is in the scriptures in the book of Revelation. Okay? So the people that go outside, if you decide to go outside while this is happening, you're going to have to take precautions against all the dust and the chemicals and the fumes that are going to be in the air. And this is why it is, the children were told to go inside the house, cover the windows so these things don't come into your house. These gases that are going to be there are going to be extremely flammable. And many of these gases will cause many homes and places to be burned up. And so these things are going to happen. This thing is going to happen. This is written in the book of Revelation. Chapter 6, verse 12, it says, "And I saw when he opened the sixth seal, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the whole moon became as blood." When this happens, the entire upper layer of the earth is going to shake for 20 minutes. It's going to be a mantle displacement. It's going to be a pole shift, folks. That's what a pole shift feels like. There are going to be sinkholes appearing all over the earth, fissures in the ground, cracks in the ground that will swallow whole cities. I was preaching in Honduras in the school there, in La Lima, in the school called Patria. And during that time, I felt led of the Spirit to ask if there was anyone there that had an experience with God, like a warning that they needed to share with others. And this girl, sitting way back in the back of the classroom, she raised her hand, and it was a huge classroom. It fit like maybe 200 or 300 people. She raised her arm up, and I said, "Okay, come up." She came up, and she I gave her the microphone, and those pictures are there. I posted on our website from way back then. And she began to tell her vision, what she saw, and how she saw in the city of San Pedro Sula how these very things began to happen. She saw it happen. And she said that she had never read the Bible before. She had never read any of these things. She found out later when she started attending church that these things are written in the Bible, in the book of Revelation. She said, I was not a Christian. I was nothing. She says, I was a very sinful young girl. And she said that that she saw these huge cracks and fissures began appearing all over the city. And she said when they opened up, the ground opened up, fire started coming up from the ground. And it would swallow cars, it would swallow people, it would swallow buildings. That's what she said. She saw it. And I'm not going to share anymore because I have shared this already with you. But that's when she said that she saw Jesus and he was crying. And she asked him, Jesus, why are you crying? And he said, because it's too late to save them. They have made their choice. And Jesus was crying. And then she said that she continued to watch, and there were chariots of fire that descended from heaven, and they began to, to kind of light on the ground, not quite land, but, kind of hover over the ground. And she said that a lot of people, or not a lot, but people started boarding them, people that were dressed in white. She said people dressed in white started boarding them. And when they had boarded them, she said that others that were not dressed in white, right? They were trying to escape the cataclysms, right, that were happening, horrific things. And as they were trying to board these crafts, before they reached them, the crafts lifted and disappeared. So the entire world, when this happens, folks, the entire world is gonna appear to have been destroyed. But this is just the beginning, because a lot of horrific things will happen afterwards. All animal life, according to the children, all animal life is going to disappear. Insects, flies, ants, rodents, snakes, and they will try to come inside the house for protection. They're going to try to come into your home. This is going to cause plagues to take place. I will make the AIDS and Ebola virus seems like just child stuff. So it is better to prepare now. And this is why I'm doing this teaching series, to help you prepare now, before the news media begins to discuss this comet or asteroid that is approaching Earth. When they begin to talk about it, it's too late. Because the lives of everybody on this planet is going to change drastically overnight. A fourth of the population of the world is going to perish. And there's going to be, together with this, there's going to be also nuclear war that they're going to be doing during this time, or right before, or right after. A lot of these missiles are going to explode in their silos, and it's going to contaminate the air with nuclear material. People are going to suffer burns and illness from this radiation. They were also told that there was going to be a great cold that will descend upon the earth with temperatures, 10, 20, 30, 40 degrees below zero. This is going to happen because of the pole shift. This is going to happen because of the pole shift. And this pole shift is going to be caused by Planet X. Yeah, are you hearing me? And so these hordes of demons that I talked about when the bottomless pit is opened up, these demons are going to start manifesting everywhere. Okay? And these demonic spirits are going to try to stop and hinder those that are still here, that have not perished, from praying. They're going to try to just harass you. This is going to be a very difficult time. But that is what's going to be, that is basically what it entails, the warning. That is basically what the warning is all about. And so the purpose of the warning is this: to demonstrate that heaven and hell are real. People that don't believe in hell, this is going to prove to many that hell is real, and so is heaven. It will also reveal and show the people that are following the Antichrist, which is, he's going to be revealing himself shortly, that he is indeed Satan incarnate, or the spirit of the Antichrist. This will also be a warning to the Jews as well as the Christians that this world teacher, right, is not their Messiah that they have searched for, but rather that Jesus Christ is the true Messiah. Jesus Christ is going to reveal himself to everyone so that they can make a choice, a final choice. And this is going to be so bad and so dreadful that it will make the people feel that we are at the end, but this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. And so Russia and China are going to attack the United States. So will Iran and some of these other countries like North Korea. And so the people that are hearing this, you need to understand that these things will happen. And this future that awaits us is very dim. And you need to prepare for it. Okay? Now, let me share something here. Okay? When this happens, this warning is going to be the last warning, actually, the final outreach from the Almighty to humanity to show the people that he loves us. When this happens, there's going to be what they determine. They call it the children of Garabandal, called a miracle. It will be evident to everyone who God is, how much he loves us, and that we must make a final decision, a final choice. Him, our eternal Heavenly Father who loves us, or the Antichrist. The children said, now listen to this, because I did not know this. I have been doing some research on the Garabandal experiences, but I had an experience recently at the end of last year, I think it was, or the beginning of this year, I can't remember, but it's posted on our website. It's called the the glory of God hits the earth. Okay? And when I had that experience, I didn't know this. I didn't know this, any of this that I'm going to share with you in a moment. But I saw the glory of God hit the earth like a shaft of beam of light. Powerful. It hit the earth. And it was incredible. It was so bright, so powerful. When I saw this, I saw that I saw that people had an expectancy. I saw that people were like not afraid. I was not afraid. The people were not afraid. There was like an expectancy about this, and they were happy, and some people were even anticipating what this was and what was going to happen. And I saw children. I saw a lot of children, and the children were the first one to discover this substance that looked like the dew of the morning, transparent droplets that were everywhere. And I noticed that one of the children went to the droplets, and he took it into with his finger, and he came and he said, "Let me put this in your tongue." And I opened my mouth, and he put it in my tongue. And when he put it in my tongue, immediately the power of God went right through my body, completely healed me, completely. All my joints became whole. All my fingers, my back became whole. My eyesight became perfect. Everything in my body became whole, healed completely, instantly. I couldn't believe it. It was too much for me to believe this. I could not believe what was happening. And that is when I prayed about it afterwards. The Lord showed me this is His glory is going to hit the earth. Now, when I did some research on the Garabandal, which I have been doing for this series, one of the visionaries, at Garabandal, was told, that, and others after that, other visionaries, that the nature of this miracle that they were told would happen was going to be a brilliant pillar of light. Isn't that interesting? That's exactly what I saw. That is exactly what I saw, people. Like a brilliant pillar of light. They called it a pillar of light. I called it a shaft of light. They said that in this light we will see the deceased members of our families in heaven. And they will be able to talk to us briefly. We will be aware of what is good and what is evil. And everybody will be aware that there is a God and that there is a devil. This is going to happen all over the earth. It's not just going to happen, they said at Garabandal. It's going to happen all over the earth. They also were told that cures and healings would take place. That's exactly what I experienced, people. And I did not know anything about this. I am telling you, because after I did the research, I found out. And that these cures and healings are going to take place all over the earth. And apparently, the reason for this cure that the children were told, apart from God's mercy and love, which He's a merciful God and a loving God, according to some visionaries, it is so that we will be able to make a clear choice for God or the Antichrist, without the burden of illness clouding our thoughts. When this happens, there's going to be conversions, massive conversions all over the globe when these healings are taking place. And this is some of the things, folks, that are getting ready to happen. And there's a lot of things that I want to share with you. Time is running short now. Let me share this other thing with you, okay? There was a man, a monk, a 5th century monk. And like I've told you before, when I was teaching a Bible school here in the local church some years ago, back in, it must have been like 2001, right? Something like that, 2002. I was teaching a curriculum from Oral Roberts University. And I was teaching a course on the charismatic, 2,000 years of charismatic renewal, or I can't remember the title. 2,000 years of charismatic Christianity. I think so, it was something like that. Can't remember. I don't have the book anymore, or I don't know where it is in all the books I have right now all over the house. But in that book, I read, and I was not aware of this. I read accounts of many monks, okay, and many Catholic people, okay, that during that time of when there was great persecution and oppression in the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church would even persecute their own priests and nuns that were not, if you will, were not walking the dog, or like some other people call it, towing the line. They were not with the program. They would persecute them harshly. And these people were kind of, very ascetic people, very ascetic monks and nuns. Anyways, and they would have revelations, and they would experience miracles of God. They live a very consecrated life to the Almighty. And anyways, there is one of them, a 1st century monk, a 5th century monk by the name of Saint Nilus. He was very ascetic, and he was never one afraid to tell the truth. Many people sought his counsel in various things. And so he was a prophet, and he saw what life would be like in our time, right now, where we're living. And so this is one of his prophecies that is very incredible. So listen to this. It was written about 1,500 years ago. After the year 1900, toward the middle of the 20th century, the people of that time will become unrecognizable. When the time for the advent of the Antichrist approaches, people's minds will grow cloudy from carnal passion, and dishonor and lawlessness will grow stronger. Then the world will become unrecognizable. People's appearances will change. It will be impossible to distinguish men from women due to their shamelessness in dress and style of hair. These people will be cruel and will be like wild animals because of the temptations of the Antichrist. There will be no respect for parents and elders. Love will disappear. Christian pastors, bishops, priests will become vain men, completely failing to distinguish the right hand away from the left. At that time, the morals and traditions of Christians and the church will change. People will abandon modesty, and dissipation will reign. Falsehood and greed will attain great proportions. And woe to those who pile up treasures. Lust, adultery, homosexuality, secret deeds, and murder will rule in society. At that future time, due to the power of such great crimes and licentiousness, people will be deprived of the grace of the Holy Spirit, which they received in baptism, and equally of remorse. The churches of God will be deprived of God-fearing and pious pastors. Woe to the Christians remaining in the world at that time. They will completely lose their faith because they will lack the opportunity of seeing the light of knowledge from anyone at all. Then they will separate themselves out of the world in holy refuges in search of lightening their spiritual suffering. But everywhere they will meet obstacles and constraints. And all this will result from the fact that the Antichrist wants to be Lord over everything and become the ruler of the whole universe. And he will produce miracles and signs. He will also give depraved wisdom to the unhappy man, so that he will discover a way by which one man can carry on a conversation with another from one end of the earth to the other. At that time, men will also fly through the air like a bird and descend to the bottom of the sea like a fish. When they have achieved all this, these unhappy people will spend their lives in comfort without knowing poor souls. That is the deceit of the Antichrist. And the impious one, he will so complete science with vanity that he will go off the right path and lead people to lose faith in the existence of God in three hypostases. Then the old good God will see the downfall of the human race and will shorten the days for the sake of those few who are being saved, because the enemy wants to lead even the chosen into temptation, if possible. Then the sword of chastisement will suddenly appear and kill the perverter and his servants. Isn't that interesting? It's incredible. 1,500 years ago, it was written. There's also some children that were given a vision of La Salette, a message as it relates to the end times of the remnant church. Listen. I make an urgent appeal to the earth. I call on the true disciples of the living God who reign in heaven. I call on the true followers of Christ made man, the only true Savior of men. I call on my children, the true faithful, those who were given themselves to me, so that I may lead them to my divine Son, whom I carry in my arms, so to speak, those who have lived in my spirit. Finally, I call on the apostles of the last day, the faithful disciples of Jesus Christ, who have lived in scorn for the world and for themselves, in poverty and in humility, in scorn, in silence, in prayer, in mortification, in chastity, in union with God, in suffering and unknown to the world. It is time they come out and fill the world with light. Go and reveal yourself to be my cherished children. I am at your side and within you. Provided that your faith is the light which shines upon you in these unhappy days. May your zeal make you famished for the glory and honor of Jesus Christ. Fight, children of light, you, the few who can see, for now is the time of all times, the end of all ends. And so, there you have it, folks. There you have it. I'm going to stop there and allow you to chew on that. I've given you quite a bit today. We'll return next week, Lord willing, with another message. Augusto Perez. I trust and pray this has blessed you. We'll talk again soon. Shalom.